I think I was tucked in the back of your truck for 5 days straight, just running wires,
sitting on that sitting on the little stool inside the
under the cap
inside the bed rack. Just
I hope we have a picture of that somewhere, because like seriously, every time I'd walk back into the shop, I'd be like, "Where's Casey?" And then he like didn't hear me, so then I'd like peek around the corner. He's in the back of it, just huddled
over.
Yeah,
it's like a caged animal. Like we locked him in there. Just you're not coming out till the wiring's done.
Yeah, this thing better work. Okay, so we're back. Podcast episode 3. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Cliff.
We have a special guest.
He's making a reappearance. It's technically not his first soiree into the Trail Grid Pro video library. So
True.
We brought Casey back.
Yeah, Casey. So for those wondering, Casey is our lead installer back in the shop, making magic happen back there.
You may have seen him in a Instagram short or two.
Yeah, or like 100.
30. Yeah, 30. Hey, who's counting, Casey?
Yeah, because he installs a bunch of stuff. So we're pumped you're here. Casey, well, I don't want to ruin what Casey brings to the table other than awesomeness, but he throws zingers. So
he does.
We're hoping it
daggers
brings in some comedic relief. On the spot. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about Overland Expo East 2024. We just got back, and overall awesome.
Yeah, great weekend.
Yeah.
Great time.
Great weekend. Lots to talk about, but I think we'll just get right into it, because what we're going to talk about first is, kind of how we ended up there.
Yeah, so last year it was myself, Casey, Matt, Tony, Aaron. It was a whole group of us. We were like, hey, Arrington, Virginia, short 3.5-hour drive from the shop.
Yep.
Yeah, we went down just as attendees, got camping passes, camped up on the hill for the entire weekend. And
The sliding hill.
Yeah.
We got a story about that.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Right.
It's a nice spot. It's basically like an old horse track, I
It's
think?
an old horse racing track. So the expo's inside the circle of the track, and then camping all on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice how they kind of have everything configured. Everything's easily accessible. But yeah, we went last year. There was a lot of people. I think last year probably the attendance was a little higher just because we had the hurricane thing.
Yeah.
But probably like 20,000 attendees.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, on average. So pretty good size, I think, for East Coast. But a lot of vendors. I mean, it took us like basically the entire weekend we were there. I mean, we walked every row, stopped at every tent,
every booth, talked to everybody. We were there for a long time.
Found a bunch of cool stuff. There was a lot of awesome builds. But the one thing that Casey and I noticed is badass rigs, and then you look in the window, factory head unit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, no, there wasn't one person there that was selling Bluetooth speakers or head unit, like nothing audio related.
Right.
So I think we quickly realized that, hey, there's a slice of the pie that's missing here, and Trail Grid Pro is that slice of the pie.
Right. And we'd been talking about that for a while, in the sense that, music is such a big part of the overlanding experience, in the sense of like, you got to drive there.
It's half the experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you get there, like, tunes are a part of the process, man. You raise the back hatch or whatever you're driving and put on some good music. And then, of course, getting home. I mean, going home from 2024, I was like cranking music the entire way home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we had talked about that, and then it sort of that led right into the holidays, and then we all kind of came up for air.
Yep.
And then there's Knowledge Fest in Las Vegas, and we had some meetings scheduled with Alpine, and their head of marketing was there, and we're at this breakfast, and kind of piggybacking off the idea, the experience you guys had was the idea like, hey, let's partner together. There's a huge
there's something to be done here.
Huge void. Let's do it. And like, basically it took a good 6 months of back and forth. When did we get the final, like, yes, let's do this?
Oh,
3 weeks ago.
and we've already been back for almost a week.
Yeah. So. Again, these things take a while to put together.
Yeah.
So I think maybe 6 weeks before we got
it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
There was, at least for me, and I know because Casey and Sean spent many hours in the shop, like gutting your Forerunner, gutting my Tundra because they were in the booth. Like a lot of hours. It was a lot of like, oh man, I hope we get these trucks put back together because we got to drive them 3.5 hours to get there.
Yeah. A lot of preparation.
Yeah.
So like went into preparation mode. Like the shop, we still obviously brought in customer vehicles and things like that. But anytime we had spare time, it was working on these 2 vehicles to be able to be, in the best position to show when we were there. Like,
We had no issues with any of the trucks the entire weekend, so.
True. Yeah.
Nice.
Go us.
No issues whatsoever. I just realized that. Yeah.
And you say that nonchalantly, but to put it in perspective, I mean, your truck was the first one kind of in the operating room, if you will. I mean, gutted the interior completely, all the way, carpet out, seats out, gutted the interior
to the metal,
to the floor pan, covered the entire thing in sound deadening material.
Yep.
Ran wires, cleaned wires up in the engine bay, like just tidied up all of the previous work that we've kind of done over the last 4 years of that truck.
Making an everyday truck to a show truck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much time.
Right.
To put all the seats back in, tune the audio system, add stuff like we added rock lights, chase lights, side lights, just
lights.
Lighting, and then like just other stuff just to your truck. And then it was like, okay, well, all right, we got Cliff's done.
The funny part about all the lights that when it got time to night at Overland, they didn't even go on because I was so tired I didn't want to get up. I was like, I'll just stay in this chair instead. It's like, I bet you those things look good when they're lit up.
And then got your truck done and then turned around and the guys did the same thing.
Yep.
To the Tundra,
Yeah.
And then I maybe went a little wild. I mean, you can kind of elaborate on what all it took just to add the Red Arc solar setup.
I think I was tucked in the back of your truck for 5 days straight, just running wires.
Sitting on sitting on the little stool inside the
under the cap,
inside the bed rack.
I hope we have a picture of that somewhere because like seriously, every time I'd walk back into the shop, I'd be like, "Where's Casey?" And then he like didn't hear me, so then I'd like peek around the corner. He's in the back of it, just huddled
over.
Yeah, tent on top. You got the bed rack.
It's like a caged animal. Like we locked him in there. Just you're not coming out till the wiring's done.
Yeah, this thing better work.
It did.
Yeah, it worked beautifully.
Worked great.
Added 2 solar panels.
Two solar panels, 150 amp hours of battery, DC charger,
1500 watt inverter.
You could ran a whole booth off of it all weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. Solely for the purpose of basically running Starlink.
Yeah.
During the event, so that
and charging my phone
and charging Cliff stuff.
I went to Overland Expo East without a phone charger that worked with the vehicle. I brought USB-C to C, and I forgot I needed A to C, and
that's all part of the preparation.
Yeah.
So a lot of work went in just to get there.
Yeah.
Setup was pretty straightforward once we got there.
So we get there. We brought, how many people did we bring? 8, 9, 10? We brought a posse.
Was it 13 of us total?
7 of it was trail grid, and then you had the Alpine contingent that met us there. But we had like 5-6 vehicles in a convoy.
Right.
Headed down the back roads of Maryland and Virginia.
Yeah, and it's a couple people in the booth that like don't even technically work for us. We're just hanging out in the booth and representing, which is awesome. So my impressions, we get there Thursday. All right, so we drive down, we get there, we roll up, we got a bunch of cars, bunch of trucks, and before I knew it, we're at our booth space.
Yeah.
Unpacking, throwing things up. It was super smooth.
Yeah, they were like, come on in. Oh, you're in the booth. You go there. Oh, you guys are camping. Peel off, go this way.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we had like someone led us to the booth space.
Jumped in a golf cart and drove us right and say, here's your spot. You're at this flag, like.
Right. Super organized.
It's super organized. Getting to our campsite, there's like, follow that guy. And we had people every 30, 40 yards probably. Keep going.
Yeah.
Watch out for the mud.
Right.
Which
mud
was
everywhere.
Huge problem.
Oh, yeah. Well, so it rained for 10 days before this event started?
Had the tail ends of Hurricane Helene just dumping water for, the better part of a week and a half.
Right. Right.
It was 12 days total, including the drive down. We got some rain.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
Every day rain.
And we were fortunate. Our booth space was on the higher ground near the track.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty darn dry. Like it had worked its way down.
Yeah.
Pretty darn dry.
The closer you move towards camping,
Yeah.
the soupier it got.
Soupy. Yeah. Very soupy. Yeah. Brown soup.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
There was 12 trucks got stuck in the mud trying to just get to their campsite.
Yeah.
There's a huge F550 whatever that I helped pull
the
out.
huge camper thing.
Camper thing.
Oh, that was it was like
Pulled
a
out.
battlemobile.
Yeah, it was just 4-wheel drive spinning away.
Apparently, the battle did not go well
it
against mud.
No, yeah.
Not good against 10 inches
It's
of
like,
mud.
you look strong, but you lose the fight. Yeah. So Thursday, everything went well. We got set up real quick. Alpine came in, set up their booth space. So just for, those that don't know, we partnered with Alpine in this whole process.
Yeah, joint venture all the way.
Yeah, which is just super cool. They're awesome. It was really a testing the waters kind of event. Like, all right, so let's go there. Because the only way you can determine, how you could do this better is to actually do it.
Yeah.
So lots of learnings through the weekend, and Alpine was there. They have a wealth of experience because they've done a ton of events.
Well, and just like for everybody listening, like the reason that we partnered with Alpine, or what started the conversation when you were in Vegas during Knowledge Fest, is Alpine's like, hey, we do Smoky Mountain Jeep Fest and Wildwood and all of these Jeep events, which are apparently, from the sounds of it, mostly like in parking lots.
Right.
But they have the experience of doing like regular Jeep events, but haven't really like broken into like the quote unquote overland space.
Right.
So that was kind of the allure. Is like they were like, hey, we know how to do events.
Yeah.
We don't have overland trucks, and we were like, well, we have overland trucks, and haven't really done a lot of the event stuff. So like, let's just meld the two together.
Perfect marriage.
They brought their huge Alpine tent and brought their display Jeep. We had our trucks and had all of our product on display, and it just worked.
Yeah, absolutely. So Thursday we get set up. We got set up pretty quick. Brian was our executive chef. Yeah, great job.
Friday night was steak and potatoes on the flat top.
Yeah. So in reflection, it's like we were all outside for literally 4 straight days. Like I did not go in a building, for 4 straight days.
Unless you want to count the porta potty as a covered structure.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Not the one you want to hang out in.
No. So that was cool to be able to kind of hang out and, get out of the office camaraderie. We all were super busy, working all the time to be able to get out there, fresh air. It was a little cloudy that first night, so no stars, but to hang out, and we met. That's the night that we got invited. So good news, we didn't piss a bunch of people off.
We didn't crash any parties.
Yeah. We got invited by Cargo Dog to go hang out with them. So they do underseat Jeep storage.
Yeah, they do like I think
rear seat delete stuff for Jeeps, Tacomas. I think they're coming out with a Tundra they were talking about.
Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. Like if you have a dog and you take your dog everywhere, to be able to just remove the seat. It's storage. It's a platform for your dog, but it also has like built-in charging and all sorts of other capabilities. So it's kind of an interesting and neat usage of the backseat. And Mike and Brooke, super nice. We're like, hey, we got a fire pit. You guys come on over. Like, you don't have to sit in the dark.
Yeah, it was like a test. I was like, I guess we're gonna find out if they like us or not. We sling some stuff, around a fire pit, but they loved us. We fit right in. So the one thing that I noticed, going to sleep, obviously everyone slept there. So you and I slept in the booth because we had our trucks there. You guys slept on the camping area for the exhibitors, which I also learned was not only the exhibitors, but also early weekend arrivers. So if they're staying for the weekend, they were in that space. Yeah. They were staying in that space too. It's like all these people aren't working here. So woke up Friday morning. So I get out of the tent and I'm walking down the step. This is 5 a.m. And all of a sudden, a large amount of water begins to fall on my head. And I'm like, oh my God, it's raining. Like it's raining. Like what the heck? I look up and the sky is clear. So that overnight it cleared up. So I'm in this like world of like misunderstanding of like, why am I being rained on when the sky is clear? And then I realized it was like literally the most amount of dew I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like
Yeah, it was
It was like it rained.
So much dew every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it rained every night, but there wasn't any rain.
Right. And it was wild. So anyway, I got over that, and then my thing is like I have this. I walk in my socks around to go to the bathroom. I don't know why I do that. So
I just remember looking, you like watch you like walk over to sit down to put your shoes on, and I go, walking in your socks again. Huh? I was like, the ground's wet. You're like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's just more water.
Committed now.
Right.
Been rained on the last 12 days.
Yep.
Wet socks again.
Yeah,
It's fine.
absolutely. So that was cool, and then got a chance to kind of like reflect on the space there. So it is in very much a valley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you've got kind of the mountains around. It's beautiful. You got the track there, but we're in the middle. Super clear, that morning, and dew everywhere. It's just beautiful. Like, it's just beautiful to be able to wake up, kind of in that environment. I just felt very fresh and like kind of ready for it. Now, we won't talk about 3 days later. 3 days later, I was like, got hit by a truck. But that morning was cool.
Got woken up to a live version of the national anthem
True,
from
that's
the
right.
other side of the campground.
That guy had a crazy good voice.
Yeah.
Just
You
singing.
guys could probably hear it from downward.
I didn't hear her the first night, but the second morning I heard her.
Well, what was funny is the first morning it was like 6:15.
Yeah.
The last one it was like 7:15. Like that person could not wake up as early as they were. It's like the last one it was like raspy.
Every morning you're like, okay, I'm getting out of bed. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Who was
Absolutely.
yelling at 7 a.m?
Yeah, right. Oh, that's the national anthem. Got it. Okay.
Never mind, I can't be mad at them. It's unpatriotic.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. So then, you guys come over from, your campsite, Alpine rolled in, and we had like 13 people deep, like to represent, our brand. And we were, obviously repping Alpine all weekend. Had the trucks, set up, ready to demo all this stuff. We learned a lot while we were there. Casey gave one of like the best pieces of like kind of advice. He just walked, Casey just moseyed on over me like under his breath. He's like, you should probably put the details about what's in the truck. We had these little laminated things.
Yeah.
And put them on the vehicle.
Put the cards on the truck.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's. And then we also learned. So we had the trucks all the windows were up, and then it just dawned on me at one point. I was like, wait, everything we're talking about today is inside the vehicle
with our 5% window tint.
With our 5% window tint, which you can't see. So it's like roll down the window. So like all this stuff.
I'm still getting flies and bugs out of my truck from the weekend. They just all infiltrated.
I know.
But
Right.
yeah,
I've got
totally
like a
worth
whole-
it.
If Matt walked by, they'll be gone.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Matt, the yellow jacket whisperer.
Yeah.
Old Matty.
It's his
Every
pheromones.
yellow jacket was going after him the entire weekend.
Yeah. Every yellow jacket loved
Nobody
Matt.
else, just him.
Pure
Right.
comedic relief.
Yeah.
Right. So Friday was a good day. Lots of good conversations.
Yeah, a lot of people like it's one of those events where people are going to take off work to make the trip down. So a lot of people on Friday.
Yeah.
We were kind of, I guess, on the opposite side of the main quote unquote main entrance.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though there's like you can kind of access it from everywhere. Once people kind of filtered through and got to the back, they seemed to kind of hang in that back area. But yeah, a lot of people said they specifically came to see us, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Or that they looked through the very extensive vendor list, and a lot of people are picking out like, oh, I want to make sure to see this. I'm gonna, kind of have their pick list of things they want to see at the show.
Right. Yeah, that was totally cool to be able to, because we're, other than our local presence, which we're growing here, online. So we talked to a lot of people on the phone. This British gentleman like walked up and said, "Hey, I just came over here just to meet you." And it's like, I don't talk to a whole lot of British gentlemen, and I knew exactly who it was. You know what I mean? He's like, we just talked, last 2 weeks ago, and like it was just cool. Like he came specifically over to.
Even Jessica had the guy. He's like, I was the birthday guy that had all the
gift cards.
Gift cards.
Yeah.
And Jess spent like a half hour on the phone with him, running through all of the like different gift cards he had.
Yeah, we had a guy that had like $20
gift
card, $50 gift cards that he wanted to buy like an Alpine bundle with, and that's just cool. It's cool to like our thing is obviously service. Yeah, we're gonna take 30 minutes to run all these gift cards through because one, like you deserve to have this item, and that's how you're gonna pay.
Got to use them somehow.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Everyone Friday was from Michigan.
That's true.
So it was all this.
Yeah. Where are you from in Michigan? I learned that. I didn't know the Michigan thing because Cargo Dog's from Michigan.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there was probably 6 people who were like, oh, where'd you drive from? They're like, Michigan. We're like,
And then the instant thing is like, where in Michigan? It's like,
Yeah.
Well, you got Detroit's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot from Michigan, what we didn't see, obviously, is, and this I think kind of ran with the whole lower attendance. So vendor attendance was similar, but lower attendance of people because basically below North Carolina, nobody came.
Yeah, they sent that email out the other day. I think they said the weekend attendance was like 14,500.
Yeah.
Where initially they, had said like 20 to maybe upwards of 25,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to a few people that were like, "Oh, I'm from North Carolina." I was like, "Oh, like, are you good?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm on the other side of the state." Like, but I do think that the hurricane definitely.
Oh, for sure.
People. I mean, you're going to go to an overlanding event, like when your house just got destroyed or your truck got smashed. Like, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, not happening.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have, or like the money I was going to take to go buy something at the show is now like I need to fix my house.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are you going to do about it? It's a hurricane.
Yeah, for us, I mean, 14,000 was more than last year, which was 0.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, our stats went way up.
Yeah. So because like I was asking around, I asked the coffee people, Nomad Coffee, which was,
if anybody would know, it'd be the coffee guy.
Heck yeah.
Sees the most number of participants on a daily basis.
Yeah. And he said, it was down, from last year, and obviously it's because no one from the South, not as many people from the South came up.
That also led in, even though, like, yeah, sure, we would love to see it, everybody that made it. But, one thing that we kind of did internally was, we kind of took turns, like, all right, you guys are going to man the booth. And then, some people would be like, hey, we're going to go check out. So, especially on Sunday, I noticed it was a lot of the other vendors, like, going around having conversation. And same on Friday and Saturday, but obviously everybody's still, like, Friday, Saturday, the highest attendance days. Everybody's still like in sales mode with the customer.
Right.
But it led to like a lot of good conversations. Like, I think like Jake from Cali Rays came over. Like,
Jake from State Farm.
Yeah. He did not have khakis on.
He did not. It was a bummer.
But like we've been dealing with them for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
I've only ever talked with him on the phone or emailed, and he came over. He's like, Brian. I'm like, just like you did with the customer.
Voice, yeah.
I instantly recognized the voice. I was like, oh, Jake, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of good interactions that way too.
Yeah.
That just kind of all throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
So good mix of customers and vendors.
Yeah. Yeah. So Friday, it was like this sort of increase in presence, like of people, kind of increase throughout the day. And then you would see more cars. It was cool. You're like in this bowl. So you could see the cars rolling in as they kind of loop around.
It's like Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
At the end. Because there was one road in. Everybody had to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Friday night, there was like a happy hour event that they had up there. Something wasn't that on Friday? Yeah.
Happy hour every
You get one free
drink.
Yeah.
Hang out for a couple hours. Get to meet everybody.
Yeah. We were just all actually just desperately waiting for Brian to cook dinner. But,
like, where's my food?
Yeah.
Hate texts about where's my dinner at?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then came back, obviously hung out, went to bed. Sort of rinse and repeat Friday into Saturday morning. Yep. Saturday was the busiest day. Saturday was.
Yeah, you have all the people that just got the day pass. They're going to come in. They're going to make the show. And
started out a little chilly, warmed up quick.
Yeah. Put on a sweatshirt. Like 10 minutes later, I was hot.
Yeah.
You're like, I am sweating to death.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Lots of sweating. Very, very little showers. Brian went the whole time, no shower. I only made it like 2.5 days and had to get in one of those remote Matt's, portable shower.
Yeah, we brought showers.
Yeah, you did. You're bougie camping. Yeah. But you went the whole time. You're the man. You are a man.
Just gotta suck it up.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Yeah. He just wipes and kind of put it in places.
Pits and bits, man.
Pits and bits, yeah. And just powered through. You're like, what do you want for breakfast? I was like, this is the man right here. It started to mess with my mental psyche. Like, I was like, dude, these guys think I stink. You never stink. I think I did. So that's why I had to shower.
Oh, not after the visual of Saturday morning when I exited my tent and here's Cliff bird bathing next to his truck.
Yeah, just almost naked.
He's just like, oh, good morning. I'm like, you have only boxers on.
Right. And it's...
and his socks.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
And it's 47 degrees.
But you know what? It was, like you said, it was one of those things. By that point, I was just like, whatever. I'm gonna get my coffee started.
It just becomes. It's just like, look, what else are you gonna do? What else are you gonna do? I'm not gonna just like magically like land on the front step of my house and like go inside and take a shower. It's like, this is what I got. I got an expandable little bowl that I'm going to put some water in with some soap, and here we go.
Overlanding bird bath.
Yeah. And so anyway, I could do that for probably a lot of days if I didn't have to also like talk to people like in a constructive way about what we do for our business. But it's another thing when I have to, get close to people
when his hair gets oily, you can't flip. It doesn't flip the right way.
Yeah. Well, people started calling me out on it, so I was like, all right, I got to go take a shower.
Because your hat curls were uneven.
I know. Yeah, I'm growing it out.
Hockey hair don't care.
I don't play hockey anymore, though. Fun fact: Casey and I used to play hockey together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah. He still plays.
I do.
Because you're young.
Yeah, younger.
How old are you again?
33.
30. God, you're a baby.
4, I don't know.
33. Yeah.
Somewhere around
He's
there.
like, what they? I don't remember.
I was watching this funny TikTok this morning about like they'd stop families in public and they like asked the dads a bunch of questions like, how old is your son? And he's like, upper 20s. What's his fiance's last name? I don't know. Like all these questions, like name one teacher when he was in high school. It's like, and then the mom comes in and they knows everything. Like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So Casey doesn't even know how old he is. That's again, the true man card.
Not important.
Yeah.
Just like woke up this morning. That's all that matters.
Over 21, good to go.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So got
through
Saturday. Like Saturday was a lot. It also was warm. It got hot.
80-something degrees, sunny.
Yeah.
Shade kept moving.
Yeah, the shade kept moving, right. All the clouds rolled out.
All of our
no clouds.
20 by 10 or 10 by 10, 20 by 10 tents we had, our
Shrinking.
our 270 awnings, and it was like
Never where they needed to
sliver of space,
Yeah.
which was mostly occupied by all of the attendees' dogs.
Yeah.
So many dogs.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And
Yeah.
every time you'd be talking to somebody and you'd look down and their dog would be like, "Oops, shade moved."
Right,
and just,
right. Like, I'm going to sit here. I don't have a Toyota, but I'm going to sit here and talk to you about Toyotas so my dog can have some shade. It's like, yeah, absolutely.
I think I heard maybe one dog fight the whole time.
Oh, yeah. There was one. Yeah, just one, though. That's odd.
I snap at them.
These are chill dogs.
Yeah.
Very
dog's
chill
scared.
event. So, because this is worth talking about, because we've gone to a lot of car audio events. Very loud.
Oh, yeah.
Opposite of chill.
Yeah.
Like, so quiet. The event was so quiet.
Yeah, we went to SEMA last year, and like you're just standing, like we're literally standing around in a booth this close, and you're like screaming because, well, they're especially in the audio section, everybody's like, "Hey, check out my system,"
Right,
to
right,
the
right.
max,
Right.
And you're just like trying to figure out what you want for lunch, and you can't
Yeah.
even have a conversation.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, everybody Overland Expo, extremely respectful.
Yeah. Super.
We were that booth making all the noise.
We were. Well, we were trying to balance, because we are there repping audio, and we did crank it up a few times, and then obviously playing the music attracted people to know what we're actually doing there.
Yeah, you could see, you turn the music up and kind of look around and everyone turns
Kind of flocked to it.
and starts coming closer.
Yeah, but we kind of did our rounds at night, like, with Cargo Dog. We went over, we were like, hey, hopefully we weren't like annoying. They're like, no, that's totally cool. Like, I feel like we played pretty like, well-rounded, liked music.
Yeah, we tried to keep it
because we didn't have a generator running all night.
Yeah.
Try to keep the songs like family friendly.
Yeah, sort of.
Kind of. Most, sometimes it's hard, but
Yeah, but you put on some Skinnerd, man. All of a sudden, it's just like they can't help it. They just flock to it. Yeah,
just moths to the flame.
Right. Exactly. So Saturday night did another. You guys did. Oh, that was the raffle night, wasn't it? Yeah. There was a raffle night. What'd you win?
Big winner. Roll up toolkit.
Yeah.
Tools not included.
Okay. Well, you got a place to put your tools, and it was free.
It was free.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, you had to buy the raffle tickets, but all of the money, they were donating to the cause, and it was cool. Like, a lot of stuff up there. I think somebody got one of our Alpine Bluetooth speakers.
We put something in it. Yeah.
And then some of the other vendors, I forget the name of the company. They had like little handheld walkie-talkie sort of things. Like they raffled off a couple, and then they donated like 60 sets to Hurricane Helene relief. So, kind of a nice like community feel.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody's just like, yeah, we're down for the call. Like, cool, I got a chair out of it, but like not,
Yeah.
Right.
not really like pressed out about where the money was going. Like very community oriented sort of feel.
Right. Every company there is obviously there repping their company, but there isn't one sliver of like this self-centeredness involved in it.
Right.
Like 23-0, came over and like shot drone footage for us of like our boot space, and like came and delivered the thumb drive the next day. Like, here, it's like, wow, that's cool. Like,
and just off of a conversation.
Yeah.
Because, Roy knew somebody that worked at 23-0 and saw he had a drone. It's like, hey, you think you can come over? It's like, absolutely, man. Like, like, I mean, so funny story. So you ran your truck a lot,
Yes.
during the event. And almost ran out of gas.
Right.
And
no generator.
no generator. Also, the one gas can that we had was stuck on the top of Matt's 4Runner.
Correct.
For reasons I'll
Yeah.
leave out of the story.
Right.
Not important.
Right.
But yeah, like Harley Davidson was there with some of their like off-road like enduro bikes. I just happened to walk over. I was like, hey, dude, like random request. I see you've been filling up these motorcycles. Like, do you have a gas can I can borrow?
Right.
And the guy was like, I got like 30 gas cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, come here. Hands me one. Matt took it, got 5 gallons of gas, came back, and I was like, man, now we don't have any way to get it in the truck.
Right.
Went back over to the truck driver for Harley and was like, hey,
That was
like,
the next morning, though.
The next morning,
Yeah,
and it was like, I was like, hey, do you have like the hose or a funnel or something? He's like, oh, here, let me get. We use an electric pump, and he just gave it to me.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool, man. Like, went over, put 5 gallons of gas in your truck, took it back over. I was like, hey, dude, I really appreciate it. He's like, don't even worry about it. Like, everybody was. That's like the cool thing with the Overland community.
Yeah.
I feel like is like nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, you didn't bring a gas can,
Right.
Like,
Right. Or
no,
not let you use their
or
stuff.
like, no, this is like everybody's like, yeah, dude, like whatever you need, like,
Right. Very helpful. And like kudos to Harley Davidson in the sense of like motorcycle company. Like people don't think about like being in that sort of space, and like they killed it. They did like they had free test drives of test rides of their bikes, and like that was another cool part about it, is like
that we didn't partake in, which would be cool for maybe next year to
yeah, for sure.
There's a bunch of test drive stuff. I think Yamaha was there.
Yeah.
Side by sides and dirt bikes and whatnot.
I think you could the Grenadiers. I think they had
They
like
had an off-road course.
They had like a little off-road
course.
Yeah, totally cool.
Little e-bike things were running around everywhere.
Yeah,
Honda was driving their all-wheel vehicles through a mud pit or something.
yeah. So Saturday night, I think what'd you whip us up? It was chicken tacos. Was that Saturday or Friday night? No, Saturday night.
Let's see. Thursday night was steak and potatoes. Friday night was chicken tacos. And then burgers on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. So burgers Saturday. I was dead. I climbed up like and fell into my tent and went right to sleep. And I woke up the next morning with like my uvula in the back of my throat was in a boxing match with like my entire mouth for the entire night. You said I was like,
oh yeah, lumberjacking.
Yeah.
Just
snoring up a storm.
There's not any trees around here.
I mean, how far were we apart? Like 15 feet?
Not maybe 10.
Yeah.
The trucks were like,
dude, it's like it was so big that I couldn't talk. I literally couldn't talk. It was so big.
First time ever, just for in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah. First time what?
First time ever, just in case anybody's wondering. Cliff was speechless.
Yeah. That was good for everybody.
I think the Sage just couldn't.
Right. It was very frustrating. Sunday woke up rough, like not because of partying or anything like that. It's a beast, this event. So I walked over to Cargo Dog. I'm like, "How's your show stamina right now?" He's like, low. Low. Like I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. It's a beast of an event.
It's one thing to like a lot of times companies will go to like a little car show and it's like it's like 4 hours,
Right.
Yeah.
It's like or 8 hours, 6 hours during the day, and then you're like, all right, cool, you go, it's local, you come back. Like
Right.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we learned in this is like
4 days long.
Well, it's 4 days long, and then for us it's and I'm not complaining, trust me, because there were people that drove from way further.
Yeah.
Michigan. Apparently everybody.
Yeah.
Michigan, this whole state of Michigan came. Yeah.
But, but even other vendors like, Connecticut and Maine and like a lot of people had a really long way to drive afterwards. It's like, that's the other part is like, you got to stay awake to like.
Yeah. The Rhino guys said they drove like 8 or 9 hours to get there.
They had a heck of a booth, man. Rhino.
Rhino.
I mean, they got this thing down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the only thing they didn't have down was they should have brought more traction boards because we took all of them.
We did take all of them, yeah.
There's the big like F550 stuck in like probably 6 to 12 inches of mud through the ruts that it was making. No one was helping him. Everyone just kind of staring at him.
Was like, oh, that
What
sucks.
is going on?
Yeah.
So I finished putting my tent up, getting ready. I was like, well, I got some traction boards.
Yeah.
Throw them under, see what happens. Maybe he'll get out. Maybe he won't. Went over, helped the guy out. He moved a little bit. Wasn't quite enough. He was a little too deep, too much weight. Cracked one of my traction boards. I was like, yeah, was looking at getting another set either way. Whatever, is what it is. Another guy pulled him out. Off he went. Happy days. Next morning, went over to Rhino USA's booth. Said, hey, I broke a traction board yesterday.
Yeah.
He's like, doing what? He's like, well,
Feel
I
like
pulled out this
traction
big
board
truck,
things, clearly.
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. He thought I had one of the version 2 sets. And he was
Yeah.
like, no one's broken these yet. I was like, well, they're a couple years old.
So the way you told me, he seemed dumbfounded that
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
was like,
how in the
how
world,
did
like
these
what?
break?
Yeah,
Like,
like
what
there's
were
no
you- what
possible way,
happened?
and you're like, well, I did it yesterday, so
It's like, it was yesterday. They were a couple years old. He's like, oh, you have the old version. He goes, oh, no problem. Hands a brand new set.
No verification that
No,
that yeah,
no-
because
no question
here was
in
the
it.
confusing part for me because you told me that story and then I go over to your camp when we're leaving and I'm like, well, there's a broken traction board like embedded in the mud. Like obviously you didn't bring that over to them, so just they were like
they said, all right, lifetime's lifetime.
super cool. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So they
went.
stand by it.
So
And then we
bought
went-
an extra set.
Yeah,
and then you got 2 sets, and Tony got 2 sets, and then I went over there, and they're like, yeah, well, your guys already
Yeah.
bought all the black traction boards, so
yeah. So give away one set, get 12 sales.
right, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Not giveaway, but like
Yeah.
warranty.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah,
Straps
but
and all sorts of other stuff from
it's the
them.
same thing to us. It's like it's important. Like we take care of people.
Yeah.
Like, Rhino did that to him. It's
Yeah.
like, no questions. Like, oh, you broke one of our boards. Oh, okay.
You're
Yeah.
surprised it broke. And
Yeah, here you go.
there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
But yeah, you were talking about Guild.
yeah.
Talked with them we met them at happy hour.
Yep.
Talked and then ended up picking up some of their products.
Yeah,
So they,
super cool company, people.
Yep.
yeah. So kind of real quick. I mean, the Guild thing is so like your guys' trucks, you have the inverters, power inverters. So what Guild's product is it basically allows you to tap into that and then relocate a power outlet pretty much anywhere you want.
Yeah.
But it also tricks the inverter into thinking that it's just 400 watts all the time. So, if you want to, like you were talking about like another outlet in the bed or like
Yeah, you can have another bed outlet. You can put some in the cab, and you can add another outlet elsewhere in the vehicle that's more convenient for you.
Yeah,
And then it also runs at 400 watts instead of cutting down to 100 watts while you're moving when you're going to be using the outlet most of the time.
right.
Yeah. So again, cool packaging. That you get the little template, the drill bit. He's like anybody that has never done this before is like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like quick, easy mod, very utilitarian.
Sounds like we need to shoot a video.
We have 2 of them
Yeah, I
over
know.
there in the shop.
Right,
So
right. Yeah, I mean, that's the other piece of this is like we were able to connect with some partners that either we haven't connected with
Yep.
or that we wanted to connect with. One of those being 23-0, and then
yeah, Lone Rock Concepts. I
Yep.
picked up one of their water pumps that goes like it's got an adapter that goes on the Rotopack, and then they pretty much make an adapter for every sort of jerry can, water can, whatever. Little USB-C rechargeable pump for the water, which is like way better than the stupid little quarter turn valve thing I had on there before that dribbled water out.
right.
Which you called it the hamster.
Hamster, yeah.
Well, yeah, like it looks like a inverted hamster water thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it worked great. Met the owner and was like, just went up to him, was like, hey man, I picked one of these up last week because it was on my sponsored ads on Facebook, and was like, yeah, I got to have that. And I was
Yeah.
like, so far I've been using all weekend. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think a little like surprised that somebody came up to him because he's a one-man show.
Yeah.
To tell him like, hey dude, your product's awesome. But then he was like, he's like, do you guys sell our stuff? And I was like, no. He's like, well, we got to do something about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've already connected with them. We just got to get the stuff
Yeah, we got it.
loaded on the site. But
Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks to the fact that, we talk about this with customers on the phone, but like we use the stuff or have used.
Right, yeah,
we
we're-
only have one vehicle. You can't use everything at once, but we have used or used.
But we're
the stuff
actively
we sell.
trying.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff that we sell, and we can like speak intelligently about it. So just real quick on sort of talking about some vendors, and then we also got to see Marty Motoring.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Marty,
yeah.
and he's working with Keith Charvonia from
Yeah.
Charvonia Designs.
Yep.
Which we'd actually Casey and I think it's like 2 years ago. I don't know, a while ago.
A while ago, yeah.
At Toyotas and Coffee here in Frederick. When Marty got kind of working with Keith, they gave us some bed tie downs. They make these awesome like billet bed tie downs. I've had them in back of my truck for a while. They look mint.
Yep.
But yeah, Keith actually stopped by and with some of their new rail tie downs. He's got a whole bunch of stuff for Tacoma, Tundra, everything.
Stuff, yeah.
Jeep stuff. Like it's got some new for the Tacoma to go on the floor where they actually swivel and they kind of fold up out of the way.
Yep.
But all super high quality stuff.
Yeah.
Came over, did like a little short,
Video,
quick install video, which literally was like 10 seconds. You just pop them in, screw them down, and then I actually talked to him yesterday. I was like, hey, so coincidentally enough, I used the bed tie downs on the way home to hold stuff down.
Awesome.
They're awesome. So,
and you missed it, but TRD John stopped by.
Yeah.
So we've done some things with him.
I think him and I were like this the entire weekend because I kept going over there like trying to talk, and then he was out, and then I was out.
Super cool dude. Like it was great to meet him. We've talked so much on the phone and over email, and we had sent him an 8100 a long time ago. To review.
Currently has a full Alpine audio head unit set up from us. We're
about to go in his Tundra. Yeah. So just super, both Marty and TRD John, like super cool guys.
Oh, yeah.
Car guys. You know what I mean? Who like, so what does it take to be an influencer? It's like, do the things that other people aren't willing to do. They work hard to like create content. It's not easy to, you're like, oh, you got a garage full of parts. Like, that must be nice. It's like, yeah. And I got to put them in and shoot content and edit the content. And it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Marty, back in the day invited two dudes from Trail Grid Pro up to his garage
in York, Pennsylvania,
in the snow.
It was freezing. Yeah. So it was cool to be able to connect with them. They're very much like in our beginnings, which isn't that long ago, but definitely in the first year and a half of this business, like they were two, sort of important parts of that, and they continue to be, which is cool.
We put ourselves out there. They put themselves out there. Like, hey, we think these guys have a product that I want to showcase, and obviously we appreciate the content and honest reviews that anybody does of our stuff. But the TRD John put a stamp of approval on it.
Yeah, which is awesome.
A lot of people decided they wanted 8100 because TRD John liked it. So his influence, as you said, in the Toyota community is kind of gold. So.
Yeah. And so coming up for the Tundra, like you said, he has got the ILX F511, and then he also has we're upgrading him to the Alpine ILX F509 for the 4Runner. All right, so just to like wrap it up, like great event.
Yeah.
Great people, like a lot of fun. Definitely some hangover related to the event as far as exhaustion.
Not alcohol induced.
Not alcohol induced,
you're outside. It's a lot of fresh air.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah, exactly. But there was some really cool talk and, just sort of sneak peek during this event, with Alpine and how we would do things differently next year.
Yeah. Lots of learning. I mean, I think you had a list, Jess had a list. All right, let's write all these things down and we can improve upon for next year's go round.
And one of those being, and Brian's probably going to punch me or kick me under the table for saying this, but one of the things we talked about is like, what could we do as a service? Like, how could we raise the level of this next year other than larger booth space, more people, more cash and carry,
taller flags.
Yeah. It's how do we figure out a way to install our solutions for the customers, campers, whatever, at the event while we're there. And one of the ideas that's kicking around, which obviously we're a year away, so we'll see how it shakes out. But it's
still some time to plan.
Yeah. Side by sides, driving to the camper's vehicle and installing Alpine solutions while you're camping.
I mean, we had talked about that, as a potential option for this year. But like I said, kind of earlier on in the conversation, Alpine's like, hey, we haven't quite got into the Overland thing. So, as much as they were kind of gauging the event like we were, it's like, as soon as we got there, they're like, absolutely yes.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, they brought a 10 by 20 tent and a Jeep this year. And but waiting in the wings is a full on basically semi trailer.
Right.
With Alpine and
Generators.
that we will turn off at night.
Yeah.
But generators and a lighted trailer with workspaces and stuff, so that we could pick up our production team and not take 7 people, but take 16, however many people we have, and the production guys that we have here at the shop continue to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Take the tickets in, build the orders. Like, hey, all right, here it is. Like,
Mobile installations.
go find
On-site.
the vehicle. The people can keep walking around the show doing whatever they're doing. They come back and voila,
You've got
Alpine,
a sweet system in your vehicle, which is what it's all about. Well, cool. Any parting thoughts from either of you about the weekend?
The biggest takeaway for me was just, like I said, the conversations with the other people attending and also the exhibitors.
Yeah.
It's nice to get out and actually put like a face to name. We're not just some people on a podcast.
Right.
Like, we are real human beings,
Yeah.
and we actually go do things, and we actually use our trucks.
Yep.
So I think that carries some weight when people, they've seen our trucks on the website or in a video or whatever, but it's like, no, we actually use the stuff. Like you said, and the stuff that we use, it's like, it stays on the truck because we actually believe in it. And we're not putting junk on our truck just to do whatever. Like,
walk the walk.
Walk the walk, yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, I think we'd all rather go out and go camping every weekend than, sit in the office all day. So if you're going to be out there, you might as well have good stuff.
Sorry, kids. I got to go camping again.
By myself.
By myself. Daddy needs to recharge. Right.
So
What
about
Casey? What are your?
It was a good time. Lots of people to talk to.
Yeah.
Tons of everything going on. Definitely a long weekend for people everywhere.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
we didn't even mention that the Toyota booth, they had the new 4Runner.
Oh yeah,
So
that's right.
That's another kind of one of the
That was a trail hunter.
Trail Hunter 4Runner.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the other nice things about this event. Like, if somebody hasn't gone, and it's like Toyota, like last year, Toyota had the new Land Cruiser. So during their fireside chat, I think it's on Friday night. That's the premise of the fireside chat is whatever the new vehicle is. So last year it was the Land Cruiser.
Yep.
This year it was the new 4Runner. So it's always nice when you can go to events like, typically people hear about SEMA as like everybody's dropping their big, secret, but for this community, it's these expo events where they can kind of cart the new vehicle around and kind of get people first, even though they had it roped off, like couldn't
Couldn't
in it
touch
and
it.
stuff. Yeah,
Don't touch me.
Land Cruiser was the same way last year. That one was ripped off, but you can get in a couple.
Now you can
minutes.
touch the Land Cruiser this year. They're like, this is.
it was just parked next to it.
You're
good.
God, Land Cruiser. Yeah.
But
So I mean, basically just like great event. They clearly got this down. So loved it. Obviously excited for next year, and then just an overall thank you to Alpine. Like, such an amazing partner.
they helped set up all the booth space,
Yeah.
the arrangements, making sure everybody had the correct passes,
Right.
and kind of did all the pre-leg work of getting registered for the event.
Yeah.
So definitely a big help on that side.
Yeah, super smooth, huge success, I thought for the weekend. So, until next time.
All right.
Well, thanks, Casey, for joining us, brother. We'll definitely,
Thanks for having me.
you're going to be a staple. Liked having you here.
The question is, who do we rope in next?
Yeah, Sean, probably.
Probably Sean.
Okay, cool. All right, until next time.
All right.